Hi there, this is Amy Palmer of Daisy and Clover Designs, and today I'm going to be demonstrating the Icelandic cast off. This cast off is a great match for the twisted German cast on, or the Old Norwegian cast on as it's sometimes referred to. And to do this cast on, all I need to do is knit my first stitch, and now I'm going to put that stitch from my right hand needle back to my left hand needle, purlwise, so it's tip to tip. And while my right hand needle is still inserted purlwise, I'm going to insert the tip of my right hand needle knitwise through my second stitch, which means it's going to kind of feel like I'm cranking it around to pull it out through. And I end up with this sort of X configuration here between the two stitches. So the only stitch that is over here on my right needle at this point is that second stitch. I'm going to wrap around and pull back through only the second stitch that's actually on my right hand needle. And now I lift both the first and the second stitch off. Let's do that again. I'm going to put the resulting stitch back over on my left hand needle, purlwise. I'm going to go into the second stitch knitwise, create the X, wrap around my right hand needle, and pull it only through what was the second stitch. There we go. Lift both stitches off. Now I'm ready to put my stitch that's on my right hand needle back to my left hand needle, go through the second stitch knitwise, wrap around, pull only through the stitch that's on the right hand needle, and lift both stitches off. Now if my phone rang and I needed to go answer it, I would put the right stitch back on the left needle, and I could store it like that until I got back to it. All I would need to do to resume is to put my left needle tip or my right needle tip in purlwise and then go into my second stitch knitwise. Wrap around, pull back through only the second stitch. Let's finish up this sample. Stitch on the right needle goes back to the left needle. I go through the second stitch knitwise, wrap around. I may need to use my thumb to get that first stitch out of the way so that I can pull through only the second stitch. There we go. I'm going to put the stitch back, go through the second stitch knitwise, wrap around, pull through, lift both stitches off. One more time, put it back, go through the second stitch knitwise, wrap around, knit that second stitch. Slip both stitches off. I've got just a few more stitches that I'll do here. I'm going to put the stitch back, go through the second stitch knitwise, wrap around, pull the yarn through only the second stitch, lift off. Going to slip the stitch back, go through only the second stitch, wrap around, pull through only the second stitch, lift both stitches off. Put the stitch back, go through the second stitch, wrap around, pull back through only the second stitch, lift both stitches off. I've got 2 stitches left. Put one back, come through, wrap around, pull back through, lift off. Put the stitch back, come through the second stitch, wrap around, pull back through, lift both stitches off, and now I have only 1 stitch left. There's nothing more that I can do here. So I'm just going to take my needle and pull my tail through. If this had been the first time I had filmed this video, I would actually need to cut my yarn and leave a tail, but it's not. So I'm just going to pull my tail through, and there I have the end that I can weave in, and I have an edge that very closely mimics and stretches like the original cast on, which was a twisted German cast on.